Hey, welcome back everybody. Today we're going to take a look at the JST SOAR tape delay plugin from Joey Sturgis Tones. This is a great plugin to use with amp sims that don't have any built-in effects like the Nameless suite from Neural DSP and Fortin Amps. When I did my demo for this amp sim, I needed a delay for the guitar solo, and I decided on the SOAR plugin due to its analog tape delay sound and all the options you get with it. So just a quick overview of the controls on here. The first set is everything to do with how we adjust the tape on it. So the repeats, it's just like any other delay pedal. We can increase the amount of repeats or decrease them. The age button right here, this will affect the age of the tape and the heads on the machine. The health knob, it just affects the overall health of the machine, so we can make it like a new machine, or we can make it sound like a machine that's 30 years old. The flutter is that flutter effect that you get with tape delay. We can increase it or back it off. And then the contour is kind of like our EQ, so we can take some of the highs out, get more mids or lows, and take some of that sharp edge off of the delay, off of our delay tone. Moving on, then we can control the heads that we're using and the combination of them that we're using. So we have 1 and 2. 2 and 3, or 3 and 1. I went with heads 3 and 1 for this song. We can go with a single head, or we can go with multi heads. Now if you do multi, you're kind of combining them all together, and you can get really washed out delay tones with it if you're going for that real spacey sound, which is pretty cool. We have a tap function, so we can tap out our own tempo, or we can use the host sync, so it'll sync it to whatever tempo is set in our DAW, which is how I'm using it. That works well because in this song, in the middle of the solo, there's actually a tempo change from 180 beats per minute down to 150 beats per minute. So the delay will automatically follow that change because it's programmed with a marker in the song in my DAW. If we wanted to tap a tempo in, we just take off the host sync and we just hit our tap button here and we can adjust it. Or we can adjust our BPMs using this knob. Or we can flip it over to milliseconds and we can adjust the milliseconds of the delay. So as you see, the heads speed up or slow down as we increase the milliseconds. Now, if you were to automate this control here, you could get that cool effect that you get with like a Boss delay pedal, where you turn the feedback all the way up and the delay keeps ringing out, and then you grab the millisecond knob and you just crank it way up or crank it way down real fast, or shake it back and forth, and you get that skipping sound. Yeah, you can do that with this plugin, which is really cool. Let's sync this back up. Alright, we can run it in either stereo or mono. I like to run it in stereo, so I get that bouncing effect between the left ear and right ear. It sounds great when you have headphones on. Kind of adds a nice flavor to the solo. You have some feedback. You can turn it on or off. I like to keep it on also, so when notes ring out, you kind of get those harmonics ringing back. Very cool. And then we can adjust the mix between our dry and wet signal. The more dry we go, the more raw guitar tone we have. And the more to the wet side we go, the more delay we're adding. If we go all the way wet, then it's just going to wash out with delay, but that might be a sound you want for something. They use that a lot on like movie soundtracks and stuff to get that real spacey sound. It's very, very cool plugin. You can do a lot with this. Like I said, I like it because of all the options you have with it. Alright, so first we're going to take a listen just to the backing track, which is our rhythm tone. Our rhythm guitar tracks, just to get some context of what the solo is going over. So that's what this sounds like. So that's our basic rhythm track. So now we can add our guitar solo over that. We'll just isolate that track. So this is what the DI sounded like. Now I was using a wah effect with this. Well, actually a wah pedal with it. So what I do is I run my guitar direct into a wah pedal, and then my wah pedal into the front of my interface, and I use a Focusrite 2i4 Generation 1, and then that goes direct into my MacBook Pro, and then into the DAW, obviously. So just the DI signal sounded like this. I know, very boring sounding, right? Yeah. So that's what the DI sounds like, nothing crazy. So now we'll turn our effects on. So the first thing we're going to listen to is the amp sim that I used, and this was the Fortin Nameless suite I used for the solo, and I just used the default setting. So if you bought or downloaded the trial version of this amp sim and opened it for the first time, this would be the setting you had. It's just the default setting. And that sounds like this. It's very harsh. There's a lot of pick attack, and it's a very harsh tone. It makes a great rhythm tone, but for soloing it's a little bit harsh. So to smooth it out, I added this tape delay onto it, and I pumped the age of it up, which softens the delay, and that sounds like this. Very cool. So now if you were listening to that with earbuds and or headphones on, you would have heard it bouncing between the left and right speaker because we're running it in stereo. Alright, so that's pretty much it. That's how you can use the SOAR plugin with an amp sim. And let's take a listen to it in the full mix. And that sounded like this. Alright, that's it for now. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you got something out of it. If you did, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment, look for links in the description, and until the next one, later.